Austin, you've played with Willie in certain game situations on a line together with Mitch. What does the whole game type of situation look like based on what you saw from the last game?
Yeah, played like a period together, so
Yeah.
had some good chances. Thought there was some good looks there. I think all three of us are pretty familiar with each other, so just working hard, making sure that we got a guy in front of the net that we're supporting all over the ice, and obviously taking care of D-zone as well. So it's pretty simple, I think.
Is it as simple as just kind of someone calling, going to the net, and someone else playing F3 or F2 in that situation, or?
Yeah, I think it's just filling spots, communicating, working for each other off the puck too. So.
What worked so well in that last game against the Buffalo, coming off the game in Detroit?
Yeah, I thought, we did, obviously not the start we wanted, but I thought we did a good job of just sticking with our game, building over the 60 minutes and, finding a way and, getting a couple quick goals, power play, penalty kill was solid. Just finding a way to win differently, and that's what it takes. You're not going to have your best night every single night. Sometimes you got to win ugly, and sometimes it's going to be different guys, different lines. So I thought it was a solid effort there, especially in the second half of the game, to obviously crawl our way back and build ourselves a lead and hang on to it, through the third period.
How would you describe the impact that John's had so far this season?
Yeah, he's been great. Johnny is Johnny. He comes to the rink every day. He's a true professional. He's a great teammate. Obviously a guy that's been around for a long time, so somebody that you can lean on, and a great leader in his regard and his way. So every day you know what to expect from him, and I think he sets a great example for everybody in the room, especially the young guys.
You played with many stronger guys, Austin. His strength is not underrated, but it's not what we're thinking necessarily of John right away. But it is such a key part of it.
Yeah, he's got such a low center of gravity, especially when he's got the puck in the corners, and he's so strong. Kind of similar to Sid in that regard, that maybe not the biggest guys you see on the ice or off the ice, but just their low level center of gravity and just the way they're able to shield the puck off defenders, and so strong on his stick too, and just a hard guy to take the puck off of.
What stood out about Fraser Minton's run here compared to maybe what you saw of him last year?
Yeah, another year of experience, another year under his belt. It's tough when you have a training camp that's kind of cut short, but like I said before, I think he's got a great just hockey mind. His IQ is something that jumps out to me, and he's just going to continue to get better and better. And I thought he played really well when he's been up with us, and I think a guy that you see a lot of potential there down the line as he continues to kind of mature and grow.
What stands out about Dallas and just the talent that they have?
Yeah, a fast team, obviously skilled team, a lot of depth, good goaltending. They've been at the top of the league now for a couple of years, so it's always a challenge against them, and you just got to be ready to work, got to be ready to skate and be about them, because they obviously have a lot of firepower coming back your way.
If Anthony has to miss a bit of time, what's your level of confidence and the group's level of confidence in the goaltending?
I think it's pretty high. I think Joe's been great for us. The Beast has been solid when he's been up and has had to play. So I think we got a lot of confidence in our goalies, and obviously you hope for the best for Stoli. He's been great for us all year, but obviously guys, just like on the forward or D side of it, like guys get injured, guys got to step up, and same thing for the goalies.
Max coming back and getting going. What's he brought back to the lineup?
Yeah, he's great. He's a very vocal guy in the locker room. He brings a lot of energy. He's obviously a pass-first guy, but it always feels good to score and get that one kind of off your back. But I thought each game he's came back and he's played better and better. Obviously when you miss time, it's tough, so you just got to kind of build yourself back up. And he's been great. So he's very versatile. He can play all over the ice, whether it's center or wing. So it's good to see him.
Leafs facing center crisis amid injuries, eyeing trade market for solutions. As the Toronto Maple Leafs battle through a growing injury list and a suspension, their lack of depth at the center position has become a glaring issue. According to Sportsnet's Elliotte Friedman in his latest 32 Thoughts article, the Leafs are among the teams exploring trade options to bolster their lineup. This effort is coming amid increasing competition from teams like the Chicago Blackhawks and Nashville Predators, who have also set their sights on improving their center depth. Friedman didn't mince words about the Leafs' predicament. The teams currently focusing on centers, including Chicago and Nashville, must consider when others will enter the market. Toronto will undoubtedly be one of those teams, he wrote. While the Blackhawks and Predators may have an edge in terms of cap space and assets, the Leafs remain a team to watch as the season progresses. The Leafs situation is urgent, with up to 7 forwards currently unavailable due to injury or suspension. Ryan Reeves is serving a 5-game suspension, while key players like Austin Matthews, upper body, Matthew Knies, upper body, Kaye Jarnkrok, groin/sports hernia, David Kampf, lower body, Max Domi, lower body, and Max Pacioretty, lower body, are all sidelined. The team has even considered temporarily shifting Mitch Marner to the center position, highlighting the severity of their depth issues. This isn't just a short-term concern for the Leafs. Depth at center has been a persistent challenge for the team, and while stopgap solutions like Marner could help in the interim, the front office appears keen to explore longer-term fixes. For fans of the blue and white, this has been a recurring theme. The Leafs' center depth often becomes a problem at the worst possible times. James Myrtle of The Athletic recently added more fuel to the speculation, naming several potential trade targets who could help the Leafs address their issues. Among them is Ryan O'Reilly, a familiar name for Toronto fans. O'Reilly, who signed a 4-year, $18 million deal with Nashville in 2023, might be a trade candidate if the Predators' underwhelming start to the season, 6-11-3, 31st in the league, prompts a rebuild. However, his steep price tag and history with the Leafs, including rejecting a free agency offer less than 2 years ago, make this a complex and potentially unlikely move. Other names mentioned by Myrtle include former Leaf Nazem Kadri, currently with Calgary, as well as players like Michael Granlund, Nick Jugstad, Brock Nelson, Yanni Gourde, Trent Frederick, Radek Faksa, and Sean Kuraly. While some of these options seem more plausible than others, it's clear that general manager Brad Treliving will need to get creative to find the right piece without mortgaging the team's future. Cap space remains one of the biggest obstacles for the Leafs. Unlike teams like Chicago and Nashville, which have more flexibility and assets, Toronto is walking a financial tightrope. As Friedman noted, competition will intensify as cap-constrained teams strive to create room. For the Leafs, that could mean waiting for the market to develop further, a risky move given their current needs. The situation also highlights the Leafs' ongoing struggle to build a roster that can withstand the grueling nature of an NHL season. Injuries are an inevitability in hockey, but Toronto's current predicament underscores the importance of depth, a quality the team has struggled to consistently maintain. Looking back on recent years, the Leafs have often leaned heavily on their star players, particularly Matthews, Marner, and William Nylander. While these players have delivered in spades, the lack of reliable depth options has left the team vulnerable in critical moments. The current crisis at center is merely the latest example of this recurring issue. Some fans have called for more aggressive moves from Treliving, arguing that now is the time to strike while the team's core is in its prime. Others, however, are more cautious, pointing to the dangers of overpaying for short-term fixes. Striking the right balance will be key, especially as the Leafs aim to keep their championship window open. Despite the challenges, there's no denying that Toronto has the talent to be a contender, provided they can patch up their lineup. The ongoing rumors and speculation surrounding potential trades show that the Leafs are at least exploring every avenue to strengthen their roster. For fans of the blue and white, this moment feels like a pivotal point in the season. With a lineup ravaged by injuries and a tough schedule ahead, the Leafs must act decisively to avoid falling behind in the standings. The addition of a dependable center could be the difference between weathering the storm or watching another season slip away. Whether it's O'Reilly, Kadri, or another surprise name, one thing is certain: the Leafs are under pressure to deliver. And for a fan base as passionate and loyal as Toronto's, there's no room for excuses. The time to act is now, and Leafs Nation is watching closely. As the trade deadline approaches, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Treliving pull off a move that solidifies the Leafs' status as a contender, or will the search for center depth become yet another chapter in the team's long history of what-ifs? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: it's never boring in Leafs land. As the Maple Leafs navigate this critical juncture, their fan base remains as vocal as ever. Toronto is a city that breathes hockey, and the pressure on Brad Treliving to make the right moves is immense. Every decision he makes, or doesn't make, will be scrutinized, from talk radio to social media, where Leafs Nation is already debating the merits of the various names being floated as potential trade targets. Among the louder debates is whether the team should prioritize a high-profile acquisition like Ryan O'Reilly or Nazem Kadri, or focus on a lower-cost, reliable center who can fill a supporting role without costing too many future assets. While O'Reilly's leadership and playoff experience make him an attractive option, his contract and recent history with the Leafs add layers of complexity to any potential reunion. Similarly, Kadri's gritty, two-way playstyle remains a fan favorite, but his cap hit and availability might render him an unrealistic target. Another factor complicating the Leafs situation is their tight salary cap. While Chicago and Nashville can make moves with relative ease due to their financial flexibility, Toronto must navigate a labyrinth of constraints to make any trade work. This likely means including salary retention or moving existing contracts to make room, which could drive up the cost of any potential deal. The question then becomes, how much are the Leafs willing to sacrifice to address their immediate needs? One potential trade partner generating buzz is the Seattle Kraken. Yanni Gourde, a dependable two-way center, has been mentioned as a possible target. Gourde's versatility and championship pedigree from his time with Tampa Bay make him an appealing option. Seattle, however, is in playoff contention and may not be inclined to part with a key piece unless the Leafs can provide a substantial return. Another intriguing name is Brock Nelson of the New York Islanders. Nelson is a consistent scorer and reliable faceoff-man, qualities that would undoubtedly bolster Toronto's center depth. However, the Islanders are notoriously cautious when it comes to trades, and prying Nelson away would likely require a significant package, including picks or prospects that the Leafs may be hesitant to part with. For all the trade talk, some analysts believe the solution might come from within. Sheldon Keefe has shown a willingness to experiment with his lineup, and players like Pontus Holmberg or Fraser Minton could be given an opportunity to step up. While relying on less experienced players carries risks, it might be the Leafs' only option if the trade market proves too costly or slow to develop. Adding to the Leafs' urgency is the timing. The Atlantic Division remains one of the toughest in the league, with teams like Boston, Florida, and Tampa Bay continuing to dominate. Any prolonged slump could see Toronto slip further down the standings, putting their playoff hopes in jeopardy. For a team with Stanley Cup aspirations, failing to address their weaknesses could have catastrophic consequences. Brad Treliving's history as a general manager suggests he's not afraid to make bold moves. His time with the Calgary Flames was marked by blockbuster trades, including the acquisition of Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar in the Matthew Tkachuk deal. Leafs fans hope he brings that same decisiveness to Toronto, especially as the trade deadline looms. Beyond the immediate need for a center, this situation underscores a broader issue with the Leafs roster construction. Depth has been a perennial concern, and while Toronto boasts some of the league's top-end talent, their reliance on a handful of stars has left them vulnerable in moments like this. Moving forward, addressing this imbalance must be a priority for the front office if the team is to achieve sustained success. As the Leafs head into a critical stretch of the season, the next few weeks could define their trajectory.